This is KGW News at noon.
On this vote, the yeas are 352, the nays are 65. The rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without the objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
First at noon, a major ruling out of the U.S. House today with overwhelming support from both parties that could determine the future of a popular social media app. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. The bill passed in the House today could either ban TikTok in the U.S. or force ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns it, to sell the popular social media app. Legislators on both sides of the aisle have expressed concern that the app is a national security threat, saying it could access people's data or run a disinformation campaign. Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici and Val Hoyle were the only two from Oregon and Washington to vote against it. Meanwhile, TikTok argues the bill would violate the First Amendment rights of its 170 million users in the U.S. and harm thousands of small businesses, influencers, and content creators that rely on it.
We've got to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is how does this fit in terms of our Constitution and our national security.
It's pretty simple. We want to protect them, right? We want to make sure their data is protected, and it's not a ban. It's just asking for divestment.
The bill will now head to the Senate. President Joe Biden has said if the bill reaches his desk, he'll sign it into law. And new at noon, Bangby and Meadows Road in Lake Oswego are back open after a driver hit a pedestrian earlier today. Police say it happened just before 5 a.m. The crash blocked those roads off for nearly 3 hours. The pedestrian was seriously injured and is being treated at a local hospital. Police say the driver stayed on scene and is cooperating with the investigation. For the third year in a row, the Evergreen Public School District in Vancouver is facing major budget cuts thanks to a nearly $20 million budget shortfall. KGW's Catherine Cook was at a last night's school board meeting where parents shared concerns about many of the cuts on the table.
At Evergreen Public Schools headquarters Tuesday night, music was on many parents' minds. And not just because of these Harmony Elementary School voices, but because of what the district might lose. Fifth grade orchestra is one of several items on the chopping block as the district braces for a $20 million budget shortfall. One fifth grader named Maddie asked the school board to keep orchestra and elementary school librarians whose jobs are also threatened.
Orchestra has brought on my love for music. Librarians have had so much of an impact on students. They make them love reading. This will lead them to success when they have a job, because no matter what job they will have, they're going to need to read.
The thought of losing elementary school librarians has dozens of parents at a loss, especially after the district cut librarians at middle and high schools last year.
These are the kids that still have the imagination, they still believe in the magic, and to have librarians taken away from them who can no longer show them and inspire them through books is devastating.
This is the third year in a row Evergreen is facing a $20 million budget cut.
And next year looks a lot more promising.
Superintendent John Boyd also reminded parents he volunteered to take a $25,000 salary reduction and that they're still looking at all possible cuts.
The surveys, the community meetings, the outreach with the advisory groups have all been important for us to listen to while continuing to focus on our goals of our strategic plan and the necessity of balancing our budget.
For some parents like Megan Taylor, that's not enough. As district enrollment dwindles, she's thinking about leaving as well.
100%, to the point that my son has been sad, and it's going to make me cry, thinking that we may put him into a private school because I'm not going to continue to invest all my time and energy into the school district that is not investing in our students.
Also on the chopping block, security. The district may reduce middle school security personnel from 3 per school down to 1. And some paraeducators and intervention specialists may also get cut. Teachers who help students with special learning needs.
Please help us. Go back and look at the drawing board. See some other areas that you can cut above literacy in a school district. Thank you.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Meanwhile, Portland Public Schools has voted on a plan to make up some of this school year's lost instructional time. Oregon law, by the way, requires students to have at least 900 to 966 hours of instructional time, depending on grade level. Extra days were already added to make up for hours missed during the teacher strike back in November. But January's snow and ice storms caused kindergartners and high school seniors to miss more days. To make it up, the school board initially planned to cut 15 minutes of recess time for kindergartners during most of April, but a few school board members raised concerns.
My mom was a preschool and kindergartner teacher, and play is actually so essential to their overall learning. I actually would be in favor of us just straight up violating the Division 22 guidelines this year and saying, you know what, it is more important for our kindergartners to get the additional 15 minutes of recess than to meet those, minimum standards the state sets.
Last night, board members decided makeup plans should not impact recess time. Now, Portland Public will ask the state to waive 14 hours of missed instructional time. For seniors, a day dedicated to the SAT and another day off will now be turned into full school days. Rod, spring break coming up fast for Portland Public kids, and man, it's going to be feeling like spring this weekend.
Yeah, spring break fever definitely gets going as soon as tomorrow afternoon. How about that? All right, it's happening out in the Pacific. The weather pattern is building that will shift us into sun and 60s and eventually sun and 70s. The big upper level high you see out in the Pacific will eventually center itself right over us. Now, today, as expected, the precipitation, and we had a few lingering spotty showers this morning, all that is gone. And we have a mixture of some clouds and partly cloudy skies. Cannon Beach has shown some brightness at times. Right now it's overcast from this view and 49. There's partly sunny skies down Uquinta Bay along the central coast in Lincoln County, in Newport where it's 52. And here's a nice partly cloudy view from the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center down in Oregon City. And I'm looking out my window here to my left. Yeah, we have partly cloudy skies over downtown Portland as well. We're up to 49, right where I thought we'd be at noon. So we seem to be on target to be up into the mid 50s this afternoon. Now that's kind of where we've been. The warm-up that you will notice will be taking place when I do the noon show at this time tomorrow. And that ties into my 7-day forecast coming up.
Can't wait to hear all about it. Thanks, Rod. Oregon lawmakers have passed a $20 million spending bill to help clean up freeways in the Portland metro area. We're talking about I-405, 205, and I-84. ODOT says the money will go toward cleaning up trash and homeless camps along those freeways. It'll also be used for things like fencing, barricades, and lighting to discourage people from parking and setting up camps. Also, in just about an hour, people will be able to hop online and learn a bit more about tolling on freeways in the Portland metro area. It's one of 2 public meetings covering the topic. The next one will be next Monday. Earlier this week, Governor Tina Kotek called on Oregon transportation officials to cancel plans for tolls along parts of I-5 and I-205. But there are still questions about the Abernethy Bridge area of I-205 between West Lynn and Oregon City. Today's meeting is at 1 o'clock on the Oregon Toll Program's YouTube channel.